Welcome to Growing Your Team, a podcast designed for small business owners seeking to grow their company with the help of employees and contractors. Your time is limited, which means growing and leveraging teams is essential for business success. The Growing Your Team podcast is the place to learn tips and techniques designed to help you know when it's the right time to hire, how to select perfect fit team members, and how to maximize productivity while creating a positive work environment. Drawing from her 10-plus years of leadership and hiring experience, here is your host, Jamie Van Kuyk.
Hello, Jamie Van Kuyk, and welcome back to the Growing Your Team podcast. 2 weeks ago on episode 65, we talked about hiring slowly and what this truly means. Today, we're talking about firing quickly. So it's the other part of that common saying, hire slowly, fire quickly. In the previous episodes, the one that came out 2 weeks ago, episode 65, we kind of reset what hiring slowly means. Just as a quick recap, but go back and listen to that episode. Hiring slowly does not mean not hiring and putting off hiring. What hiring slowly means is taking the time to find the right team member for your position. So you're not rushing to fill that position with any warm body. You're taking the time to ensure you have the right person in your position. And of course, in order to get the right person in your position, you need to attract the right people to your hiring process. So through a well-written job posting, and then have a hiring process set up in a way to truly identify if someone is qualified or not. But now you hired someone. And as I mentioned in the other episode, when you hire slowly and take the time to really find the right candidate, firing quickly pretty much becomes a thing of the past because you have gone through the steps to identify if someone is a good fit before they ever worked for you. However, sometimes no matter how well of a hiring process you have in place, there's going to be the potential for a new hire not to work out. The likelihood of this is going to be pretty low when you have a good hiring process, but it can still happen. So let's talk about firing quickly, what that means, and when you should do it within your small business. So firing quickly means you let a team member go when you identify that they're not a fit for your business, that you don't hold on to them, crossing your fingers, hoping that they will work out, saying, I just need to spend a little bit more time training them. I just need to adjust the position so it better fits them. I just need to, until you have a team member that's still not doing the job you hired them for, and you feel like you're paying all this money to continue doing the work yourself. No. We don't want that. If you're going to hire a team member, you want them to be a team member that is good for your business. That is somebody who is going to produce work of value. So you feel like you get a positive ROI on every dollar that you're paying them. So once again, firing quickly means you're cutting your losses and getting someone out of your team once you identify that they are not the right team member. But here's a few things that tend to happen where small businesses get this firing quickly wrong. What they tend to think is this person's not working out, they need to go immediately, and they're failing to do some reflection on what is actually going on within their business. So sometimes there's one of two things that are happening. One, training wasn't actually done. You expected someone to come in and do the job, but you didn't actually want to spend any time training that team member. And some of the things that I hear is, well, I'm hiring someone who's supposed to be an expert, so they should know how to do exactly what I want them to do. And some things lead to this. One, it could be, well, you didn't actually do anything to prove that they were an expert in the hiring process. And if that's the case, they're not actually an expert, they need to go. That's probably a good place to actually fire quickly. But what tends to happen is Yes, they might be an expert, but they've never done that job for you. So they don't know what it means to do it to your expectations because you didn't train them. You didn't teach them about the processes. Or it could also be that you're not giving them time to start learning and adapting to your processes. The other thing that tends to happen with where firing quickly is not the right thing to do is when a team member does something wrong, we sit there and say, well, I've already trained them on it. They're just not getting it. And one of the things you have to remember is everybody comes at things from a different point of view. They have different experiences, different backgrounds. These experiences, backgrounds, and points of view is what really builds a rich business, a successful business. But it also means that people interpret things differently in their head than you interpret them as you're saying them. So what happens is they think they're doing the job as you told them. But in your mind, they're not doing the job as you told them. So you're just saying, it's wrong, it's wrong. But they don't understand why it's wrong. They're not seeing the difference because to them, they're doing it exactly as you said. So what you need to do is when someone does something wrong, help them see the difference between what they did and what you actually expected. Then, when they go to do that task again, you can see, are they getting better? With certain things, you're going to have to train on more than once, possibly more than twice. But the thing is, do they get better every time? If they're getting better, then you probably don't need to fire them. It's just that they need to learn how to meet your expectations. They need to learn how to climb that ladder of success because here's the truth. Probably no one's going to do everything the exact way you want it the first time 100% of the time. There's always going to be screws ups and mess ups and places where your new team members need to improve. So those are two situations where small business owners tend to jump and fire quickly when the reality is it's you as the business owner that are not giving them the proper information they need to succeed in their role. And if this is happening, guess what? You can fire that employee and go and hire again, but you're going to have the same problems again and again and again. When the problem really isn't them, it's you. It's you and the expectations that are being set because either you're not setting them or you're not helping them see the difference and you're automatically concluding that they're not capable. When the truth is they can be capable, you just need to properly train them and set the expectations. But let's say you're going through everything and they're still not getting it. So you're resetting expectations and they're producing work that's almost exactly the same as before. So they're not getting better. And no matter what you do, they're not getting better. At that point, you don't need to go and adjust the position to find something where they truly fit in. At that point, if they truly cannot do the job that you hired them to do, that's when it comes time to cut your losses, fire quickly, and get someone in that position that can actually do the job. You don't want to be paying a team member to not work. You don't want to be paying a team member to then have to do the work yourself. So cut your losses, let them go, and get a good team member on your team. And there's two big words of caution here. One, always make sure you're documenting everything. So if they are not performing the job as they should, make sure you're documenting it. Make sure you're providing the feedback and that you're documenting it. That way you cover your butt if they say, I wasn't terminated for a lawful reason. I know a lot of states are what's considered at-will employers, or at-will work states, which means you don't necessarily need to give a reason, but it doesn't mean that people aren't going to try to sue. So make sure you have your butt covered and you're documenting everything, the feedback that you gave them and everything else, so it's very clear that you have a documented process of why they are being let go. And the second word of caution here is if you are constantly having to fire quickly and you're using the excuse as they're just not capable, they're not capable of doing the job, I hate to break it to you, but it's not them, it's you. Either you are truly hiring a lot of people who are not capable, which means you need to drastically improve your hiring processes, or you are hiring good people, but you don't know how to train, lead, and manage them. And if either one of those are happening, you're putting yourself on this never-ending cycle of disappointment. And if that's the case, it's time to do something about it. And we're going to go back to episode 65. The thing to do about it is not hire slowly where you're overwhelming yourself with work. The answer is making sure you have processes in place to truly identify who is qualified, and then making sure you have processes in place to make sure you're properly onboarding and training your new team members. So to wrap up, the saying, hire slowly, fire quickly, is one that's very popular in business, but it's one that many small business owners get wrong. Hiring slowly does not mean dragging your feet and not hiring when help is needed. It means taking your time to identify the right team member and not rushing just to put somebody in that position. And firing quickly is good when it's appropriate. It's good when you have a team member who snuck through and is not right for the position. However, in many cases, the reason why you need to fire a team member is, or the reason you want to fire a team member is because you didn't hire the right person in the first place, or you don't have systems set up to properly onboard and train a new team member. So you're using your lack of ability to bring in and train a good team member as a reason to fire a team member who is more than capable of doing the job. Are you ready to hire a new team member for your business and you want to ensure you hire the person who can succeed in the role, make you happy, and positively impact your bottom line? Then set up time and let's talk, because this is exactly how I help business owners like you. When you go through my hire framework, not only will you learn how to attract candidates who have the passion you desire, but you'll be able to identify and select candidates who have the skills you need and can succeed in the role. With my hire framework, you go through 4 core areas. We start off by going through the hiring details. Here, I help you articulate exactly what your position entails, so you're not working in reactive mode. We then dig into the very specific criteria your ideal candidate needs to have to be a best fit, not only for your position, but for your company as a whole. Then we move on to step 2, initiating the advertising plan. This is where I create you a detailed custom job posting and a custom advertising plan designed to bring in perfect fit candidates. So you spend your time looking at quality candidates. Then step 3 is all about the review process. I provide you with a review guide that's designed to help you identify quickly what to look for in a submitted application to determine if they're worthy of your time. After you choose the best candidates, I provide you with a custom interview guide so you know exactly what to ask in an interview and make sure the interview is as productive as possible. And then lastly, step 4, it's all about the expectations for success. Once you've hired the best candidate, I help you make sure your onboarding plan is as efficient as possible so you can set your new hire up for long-term success and no more having to go through the yo-yo of the hiring and firing cycle. You have a team member on your team who's going to stick around and perform at the level needed. Going through this consulting process not only helps you find the right new hire for your current open position, but it teaches you how to repeat this process with every new position you add to your company as it continues to grow. So if you're a small business owner who is ready to hire, has a rough idea of the position you need to add, and you're tired of going through the hiring process only to end up with bad fitting team members, then let's talk. Send me an email at jamie@growingyourteam.com. That's Jamie, Jamie, @growingyourteam.com, or head on over to growingyourteam.com/jumpstart and let's talk about your hiring needs.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Growing Your Team with your host, Jamie Van Kuyk. Be sure to subscribe and head on over to growingyourteam.com to connect, access the show notes, and discover more ways to hire and leverage your perfect fit team.